Hey everyone, it's Victoria with Nutrition by Victoria. I have a Master's of Science degree in Human Nutrition, and I'm here to help you build a high-functioning metabolism so that you can get and stay effortlessly slim, lean, fit, and healthy, all while eating unlimited calories from the right sources though. Fruits, vegetables, starches, sugar to taste, high-carb, low-fat, plant-based diet. Okay, so today I am going to be doing another mukbang. You guys are probably like, all you eat is watermelon. Well, it's usually what I've been eating for breakfast as it's summertime where I'm at. Watermelons are cheap and plentiful, super hydrating, and my favorite fruit that's a whole fresh fruit at the moment. Dates, I could never live without. I never go a day without dates either. So today, I want to talk about fruit versus starch. And, the pros and cons of eating a all fruit diet and then an all starch diet, and really what I prefer to eat and what I think is most practical for the majority of people. So the pros of an all fruit diet is that it's super easy to digest. Fruit is what we were designed to eat, so when we eat it, it just goes down. And honestly, when I eat fruit, other than having like a little bit of a Buddha belly after like eating a lot of watermelon, I don't experience any bloating, no negative symptoms, and then I urinate out eventually, the fluid, and it might cause a evacuation elsewhere as well. But ultimately, fruit is, ideal to consume a lot of for, a big bulk of your diet because it's super high in nutrients, fiber. It's ready to eat. It is nature's fast food, as long as it's ripe. But the cons to it is that it's seasonal, so you're only going to have certain fruits available throughout the year, depending on what kind of climate you're in. But where I live in a temperate climate, so we have seasons. In the wintertime, citrus is available, apples and pears, they keep for longer. Dates come in the end of summer, so they're available all winter long as well. But the other downside to fruit is that it is expensive. So I've definitely been spending more money eating a high fruit diet than I was, having more starch in my diet. So that can be a deterrent for some. I know some people were commenting that they couldn't eat an all fruit diet because of the cost. So I like to seek out, good deals. Aldi's a good place to buy fruit. Walmart's a good place to buy fruit. I haven't been shopping so much at farmers markets this season because I've been finding the fruit to be pretty poor quality and very expensive. So if I find something and it's good, like yesterday I found good peaches, so I bought them. But unless I can tell that it's going to be good, I generally don't buy it. So the cost and availability of good fruit and the high cost is definitely like a con. The other thing that I find with fruit too is that sometimes it's hard to eat enough calories, because it's so stuff like watermelon is very low calorie density. Something like dates is high calorie density. So you definitely have to make sure that you're eating enough like dried fruit, fruit juice, things like that in order to meet your calorie needs and be satisfied. Whereas with starches, they're available all year round. They're cheap. They can be ripe and ready whenever because you need to cook them. They keep for a long time. So these are all the pros, obviously. The cons would be just not as high in nutrient density as fruits. And, sometimes the cooking process can um, cause the development of like acrylamides if you burn your starch and get that black on them. Tastes bitter. But recently, I've been incorporating starch back into my diet, and I'm finding that I'm better satisfied. I've been finding that I needed something that was a bit heavier in my diet. So I've just been going with the flow. I knew I was gonna get to this point, and I think that really I just needed to rebalance my diet. So going on like a fruit fast for as long as felt, right for me, was necessary to kind of rebalance my diet and, you know, refocus on what it was that my body needed to eat. So I feel the best, honestly, on eating fruit all day. So raw till 4, fruit for breakfast, fruit for lunch. Um, I always like to have some kind of a sweet drink in the morning, and then having like a later breakfast is what feels best for me. And eating fresh fruit and dates or maybe some other dried fruit throughout the day. And then when I get to dinner, I like to have a big salad vegetable meal. I prefer to have it like in wraps, whether it's nori wraps or like spring rolls, so the rice paper wraps. And I like to have rice. I find that rice for me is easier to digest than potatoes, because I was like working the potatoes in first, and then I found that they just sit a bit heavier with me, and my digestion is better on rice. I'd say rice is like pretty close to fruit in regards to how easily it digests. And it is always recommended, ironically, when you're ill or you have digestive issues to eat rice. So, rice and fruit, the brat diet, which is bananas, rice, apple sauce, and toast. So, that is, has been my experience. And yeah, so those are the pros and cons of fruit versus starch. Ideally, you know, eating both is the best, because it's easier to meet your carbohydrate calorie needs. It's easiest to meet your nutrient requirements, get enough fiber, and honestly to just feel satiated. I work with people who have been on the starch solution, and they always felt like they were missing out, and then vice versa with being on an all fruit diet, they always feel like they're missing out eventually. And a lot of people who eat a fruit diet get a little dogmatic with being raw vegan, and they go to the fats. So you'll notice almost every single raw vegan that is on social media consumes fats in the place of, let's say, starches. So generally the dinner meal, they're having like avocado and some kind of fatty nut-based dressing instead of having starches. So I honestly think that starch is a better option. It's more filling, it's better for insulin sensitivity. It contains a sufficient amount of fiber, and I don't think it's very practical to get a whole lot of calories from nuts and seeds and avocados. In general, I think starch is a better option than doing the fats. So ideally, like a raw till 4 diet, keeping it high carb, low fat. If you want to incorporate the nuts, seeds, avocados, that is up to you. But in terms of weight loss, it's better to keep them out of the diet until you've reached your goal, and then you can, play with your insulin sensitivity a little bit more. But ultimately, insulin sensitivity is going to be dependent on keeping the diet low in fat, but also keeping an eye on the amount of processed carbohydrates in your diet in relation to fiber. So you're going to want to make sure that you have a sufficient amount of fiber coming from whole foods in your diet to promote blood sugar regulation. But that is it for today's video. I am going to eat the rest of this. It's honestly hard for me to eat and talk, so I'm gonna go finish my breakfast, and I'll see you guys next time. If you're interested in my coaching, link is in the description box right now. My coaching program, which explains all of the science of how this works, how the human body works, how the human metabolism works, what we need to eat, and a plan for yourself in terms of developing, what's going to work best for you. Whether it's starch-based, fruit-based, a combination of the two. Maybe you're not trying to go completely vegan yet, but a high carb, low fat, plant-based diet works really well for everyone in terms of getting that lean, slim, fit body that everybody desires, and matching it with really great health. So click the link in the description box for that. You can also sign up for my one-on-one coaching or my private Facebook coaching group, and then leave any questions or comments down below, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.